many hits on quarterback Alex Smith. They haven't run the ball effectively the last couple of weeks, especially against Denver. And then you go to the defensive line. They've had nearly 200 yards rushing against them the last 3 weeks.
A reminder, today's game is being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. The Arizona Cardinals have won the toss, and they will take the football. Bruce Arians in his second season as the head coach here in Arizona. This beautiful domed stadium with the roof closed today. Number 5, Cairo Santos, set to kick it away for Kansas City, and deep for Arizona is number 19, Ted Ginn Jr. And we are underway in Glendale. And he will run this one out of the end zone about 4 yards deep. Nobody on this side of the field. Across the 35 and out of bounds, short of the 40-yard line. Santos, the kicker, knocked him out of bounds. And check in with Evan downstairs. Evan.
Well, Greg, the Cardinals offense will get a much-needed boost this afternoon with the return of all-pro receiver Larry Fitzgerald, who will start after missing the last 2 games with that left knee injury. Now, we spoke with Fitzgerald yesterday. He said, I am not 100%, still feeling the effects of that MCL injury. He said after watching this team lose the last 2 games, it was all hands on deck, Greg.
All right, Evan, thank you. First down at the 38-yard line. The give is to Stephon Taylor. Drew Stanton making his 4th straight start at quarterback since the season-ending injury to Carson Palmer, his 7th start of the season. The last few games have not been terrific for him, Trent.
Well, he hasn't. He talked about the addition of Larry Fitzgerald, getting him back in the fold. His attention, whether he's 100% or not, just the fact that Larry's in the game draws the attention of the defense, which should open some other things up for the passing game.
Loss of 1 on the play, 2nd and 11. Stanton's first throw of the game, this side of the field, and it is complete and out of bounds at the 40-yard line is Stephon Taylor. Injuries on the offensive line have Jonathan Cooper starting at left guard with Ted Larson moving from left guard to right guard, and one of the fine receivers in the game, as Evan just told you, Larry Fitzgerald back, having missed the last 2 games with a knee injury. Always upbeat. He's fun to talk to, isn't he?
He sure is, and he talked to us about this situation, this 3rd and short, the last couple of ball games. Even though he hasn't been involved, he's been aware of what's going on offensively, not having enough production on 1st and 2nd to make these manageable 3rd downs like they have here.
Arizona's 4 out of 19 on 3rd down over the last 2 games. They're going to complete this one. Michael Floyd with the catch and a first down for the Cardinals.
We had a chance to talk to Hussein Abdullah, the safety for the Chiefs, and he talked about how the Cardinals like to bring receivers in bunch formations, and they like to run crosses and rubs to get guys open. That time, just 2 receivers. He gets to the flat. That's just a miscommunication on the Chiefs' part, not knowing where the sticks are to be able to stop that first down.
So Arizona now at the 42-yard line of Kansas City. They will give it to Taylor. Taylor running room right up the middle. Inside the 35, all the way to the 30-yard line, and that'll be good for another first down. Dragged down by Sean Smith, the cornerback.
And the Cardinals come into this game as the 31st ranked rushing offense in the National Football League, but we talked about in the opening was the struggles the last 3 weeks that the Chiefs have had stopping the run. So anticipate, especially early on, seeing if the Cardinals can establish the run.
Arizona has managed just 1 touchdown drive in its last 11 quarters. This one has advanced all the way to the Kansas City 30-yard line. Stanton going to give it to Taylor, and Taylor not very much there. Let's check the Chiefs' 3-4 defense. Anchored in the middle by Dontari Poe. Vance Walker starting outside in place of injured Alan Bailey. Kansas City boasting the NFL sack leader, number 50, Justin Houston, has 14 on the season, and one of the veterans of a young secondary free safety, Hussein Abdullah, in his 6th year out of Washington State. Two tight ends now for Arizona on 2nd and 8. Taylor again, squeezing through inside the 25 to about the 22.
once again, it gets back into that 3rd and short that the Cardinals talk so much about being able to manage the down and distance, not put that pressure on Drew Stanton to try and push the ball up the field in a 3rd and long where some of his interceptions have taken place.
You know, in this era where you see so many head coaches win the toss and defer, Bruce Arians was pretty emphatic, wasn't he, yesterday?
He said, I'm all about getting the ball first, and that's exactly what he did today. He wants that ball first. He wants to be aggressive with the offense and attacking up the field.
3rd and 2. The pitch, penalty markers fly, and Taylor will not get the first down, but let's check the flag. Ron Parker coming up from the safety position to make the stop. Our referee today is Craig Rolstad.
Illegal motion, offense, number 11, moving forward at the snap. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a 4th down.
Watch Larry Fitzgerald. He's right here. He starts moving towards the line of scrimmage, and that's what the officials are looking for. You have to move parallel with the line of scrimmage. Larry Fitzgerald was moving downhill or towards the line of scrimmage. That's what drew the flag.
So Chandler Catanzaro, the rookie free agent signee out of Clemson, is the Arizona kicker. He's been 19 of 21 in field goals this season, and this one will be from 44 yards out. On its way, and good. Cardinals take the football, drive for 3. There's Larry Fitzgerald, happy to be back in uniform for the Arizona Cardinals, who went 36 yards, 8 plays. And the Catanzaro 44-yard field goal has Arizona up 3-0. Nile Davis is deep for Kansas City. And he will bring this one out. Just across the 20 to about the 23, maybe the 24-yard line. 10:50 to play in the first quarter. Kansas City down 3 with their first shot on offense when we come back to Glendale after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Area of Jewelry. And by Ford. Beautiful things happen when you go further.
Nice look at downtown Phoenix, Arizona as the Chiefs get started. And Alex Smith under pressure got rid of it. The pass is complete across the 30 and out of bounds at about the 35-yard line is Travis Kelce. His 45th reception on the year. Alex Smith trying to bring Kansas City's 2-game losing streak to a halt. 15 touchdown passes against 5 interceptions. And when Alex is right, Trent, he is very, very efficient.
And he's taken a beating the last couple of weeks, not in the number of sacks, but in the number of hits. That time with the bootleg rolling out to his right, able to get rid of the ball before the defense could get to him.
One play, 1 first down. Here's Jamal Charles off the right side to about the 37-yard line. That Kansas City offensive line has Eric Fisher at left tackle, the first overall pick in the 2013 draft. And the Chiefs lead the NFL with 16 rushing touchdowns, and that outstanding running back Jamal Charles has half of them. He's also caught 4 touchdown passes. 2nd and 8. Charles again. Cuts it back inside, and there he goes! Jamal Charles on his way to the end zone for the touchdown. 63 yards. Make it 17 rushing touchdowns for Kansas City.
Watch Fasano right here. He's going to seal the edge with his block. Jamal Charles is going to get to the outside and hit that lane. Bruce Arians, yesterday we had a chance to talk to him. He said, you have to wrap Jamal Charles up. You do not want to get in a foot race with him. If he gets to that second level, we've already lost, and that's what happens. They miss those first 2 tackle opportunities, and then it's a foot race you're not going to win.
9th rushing touchdown of the season for Jamal Charles, his 13th TD overall. The extra point try is good, and just like that, 9:35 to play in the first quarter. The Chiefs come back with the touchdown run by Jamal Charles. Kansas City's 7-3 lead. This is the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Jared the Galleria of Jewelry. And by Ford. Beautiful things happen when you go further.
9 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in busy first quarter so far. Jamal Charles with a 63-yard touchdown jaunt. Ted Ginn Jr. is deep. And he will not run this one out. It'll go through the end zone, and Arizona will start on their own 20-yard line. Go back to that touchdown.
Well, I want you to watch Mike McGlynn. He's going to come around. He's pulling around, and he's going to seal it here. But you also need to watch Harris on the outside. He comes up and gets to that next level and gets the block. And Jamal Charles does such a nice job with his patience and vision. Here he's following his blockers. He gets to the outside, but then when he sees the crease inside, he has the speed to be able to take it the distance. And, Greg, it should be noted a couple of missed tackles there as well, and that's what Bruce Arians told us couldn't happen.
On first down, Stanton with time, and he missed Larry Fitzgerald. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. Reminder, you can get the fastest football scores and updates with the CBS Sports app, the fastest app for sports fans. Download the CBS Sports app now. 2nd and 10. Lots and lots of incredible action already taking place on this busy Sunday. Straight ahead. This is Kerwin Williams, just signed off the practice squad this week. And he picked up 4, and it's 3rd and 6. Like so many other teams, there's no one is completely healthy this time of year.
Not this time of year, but the Cardinals have been hit especially hard, especially with some of their superstars. You see Darnell Dockett lost for the year. Carson Palmer has been well documented, lost for the year. Andre Ellington, the running back that's missing today, is being evaluated. Who knows what his long-term status is, and it just continues. It's nice to have Larry Fitzgerald back today, but he's not quite 100% either.
On 3rd and 6, Stanton got hit as he released the ball, and it's incomplete. And a late flag is thrown.
They're going to get Tamba Hali going low to the quarterback's legs.
Andy Reid doesn't like it. And Craig Rolstad in conversation with another official.
And what the evaluation has to be is if Tamba had an opportunity to go somewhere other than his legs, if he could have avoided making contact to Drew Stanton's legs.
Roughing the passer. Defense, number 91. That's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
There's a part of the rule that states if you're blocked into it or if you can avoid it. With the way he's being blocked and going down low, I'm not so sure he could have avoided that, but they do such a good job now in the NFL with protecting the quarterback's head and neck area, but also the lower part of their body as well with the knee injuries.
Are you supposed to just run right by the quarterback in that situation?
I don't know how he could have avoided that. I don't know if he could have adjusted his angle that he hit him at, and I think that's what the long discussion was between the officials, and they ultimately decided to call the penalty.
First down, Arizona at its own 39-yard line. This is Williams. Maybe a yard to the 40.
And Greg, just to go back to that last play, the NFL has put such an emphasis on protecting the quarterbacks. Could Tamba have gone another place? Could he have hit him differently? I'm not so sure he could have, just because of his momentum and the way he goes off of this block. He's coming in low, but with the NFL and the emphasis on protecting quarterbacks, right now they're going to err on the side of the quarterback.
And kind of being held on his way into the quarterback, too.
Duly noted.
Not for nothing.
Right.
2nd and 9. Williams, that quick slant to Fitzgerald is complete across midfield and into Kansas City territory at the 47-yard line.
Larry Fitzgerald just going to be on a three-step post route. It's the tight end dragging underneath that draws the attention of the linebacker and creates that window for Drew Stanton to get the pass in.
The longest active streak in the NFL, 160th straight game with a reception. This is Williams, and Williams straight ahead. Still on his feet, pushes his way to the Chiefs' 40-yard line. And what did Larry tell us? He said he might be at about 60%.
That's what he said, and he kept on reiterating, this is December football. This is December football. So you know that must have been where Bruce Arians was talking about this week to his team. This is December football. We need to step up and play better, and that's why Larry's missed the last couple weeks. He said he wasn't sure if he'd have been able to go the last couple weeks, but he was doing everything he could to be out on the field today, whether he's 60% or full speed.
Two tight ends now on the field for Arizona on 2nd and 3. And this is Williams again. And Williams about a yard shy of a first down. Two teams each with a 2-game losing streak, and you and I were talking about if this is a must-win for either of these teams, and you thought it was more crucial to Kansas City.
It is more of a must-win for Kansas City. When you look at 6 teams are tied at 7-5 coming into today, not counting the earlier games, but coming into today, 6 teams at 7-5. And you look at Arizona, their last 3 games are against their division. So even though Arizona talked to us about getting things going in the right direction, more importance lies with the Chiefs.
That short pop isn't going to get there. That was Robert Hughes. So the Kansas City defense comes up big on 3rd and short, and we see no sign of the punting unit out there yet.
And that was aggressive pressure by both linebackers in the A gaps, and Bruce Arians didn't even hesitate. The punting unit was ready to run out on the field, and he didn't wave them out at all. He had this call in mind before that last play was even run.
This would be a 57-yard field goal attempt, so they're going to go for it on 4th and 2. Taylor and Hughes in the backfield. And they aren't jumping, and they're going to take the penalty and back off 5 yards and kick it.
Delay game. Offense. Number 5. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
You think Andy Reid's still a little bit upset at that call?
Yeah, I think, it still keeps everything going for the Chiefs. It kind of kept the drive alive for the Cardinals, and so that's what he's upset about. But I'm sure he's happy with the way his defense responded to the adversity of that drive and that call.
DeAnthony Thomas is deep for Kansas City. He will let it go, and it'll bounce inside the 5, and it'll be down at the 5-yard line. Dustin Colquitt backing Kansas City up. Rashad Johnson downing the ball at the 5-yard line. That's where Kansas City will get it started when we come back.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon XLTE on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Welcome back to Arizona. AFC West, NFC West. Kansas City, 2 games back of Denver starting today. Arizona a game up on Seattle, 2 up on San Francisco. St. Louis a winner earlier. On first down from the 5-yard line. Jamal Charles with running room up the middle and out across the 10 to about the 13 or 14-yard line. Talk about a threat every single time he touches the football.
Well, and I think you can feel the anticipation in this crowd when he got the ball.
In Cleveland, Andrew Luck Late touchdown pass to T.Y. Hilton has given the Colts a 25-24 win over the Cleveland Browns, and that sets anew that whole Brian Hoyer, Johnny Manziel argument going on in Cleveland. 2nd and 1. Quick pass to the sideline. Jason Avant. And Avant with a first down.
That's one of those plays Alex Smith has the ability to hand the ball off or read what the defense is doing. With Arizona having so many defenders stacked in the box, he has one-on-one on the outside. He pulls the ball away from Jamal Charles and flips it to the outside and allows Avant to pick up the first down.
It's like a running play with a wide receiver.
It's a choice. It's really almost like a read option with the throw involved in it.
On first down, Smith throwing, and that pass is complete across the 20, out to about, forward progress will be marked close to the 25-yard line. Albert Wilson with the reception. Thursday, it's these Arizona Cardinals, an important matchup with the St. Louis Rams as the playoff chase heats up. Thursday Night Football, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, live on NFL Network. Those Rams beat Washington 24-0 today. Washington hasn't scored a point since before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and St. Louis defense is playing really well here, especially the last few weeks. Be a tough contest for Arizona on a short week.
2nd and 4. Smith on the crossing pattern. That's complete to the tight end, Travis Kelce. And Kelce up near midfield before he's bumped out of bounds. We have a penalty marker down.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 95, hit the quarterback with the crown of the helmet. A 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
That's D lineman Tommy Kelly guilty of the foul.
You see Travis Kelce coming from the right side of your screen, just on a drag route. Alex Smith is able to, in the face of pressure, make an accurate throw to Kelce so he gets the yards after catch. You're going to see the impact of the hit Tommy Kelly has on Alex Smith, and that's what draws the flag, is the crown of the helmet leading into the quarterback.
Well, from what we can tell early on, if there are two guys who are going to walk out of here healthy tonight, it's the starting quarterbacks.
There were a couple of calls both ways.
First down. Jamal Charles looking for running room, can't find it. Another flag. And a loose ball. And the Cardinals come out of the pack with it. We have an official pointing in the direction of Arizona. And Jamal Charles coming off the field limping. That's not good news for Kansas City.
Well, and it's not good news, and now he goes down. Appears to be his left leg. Anytime you're stacked up in a pile and you have bodies falling around, you have to be concerned.
Holding. Offense, number 75. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a fumble. Recovered by the defense, first down.
So Arizona declines the penalty and they get the football. Here's a look. Big pileup, ball came loose. Arizona football.
Here's the running play to Jamal Charles. It's a sprint draw. He's coming in. The holding call is going to be on McGlynn, right? 75 in the middle of your screen. But watch when Jamal Charles' knee hits the ground. Right here you can see his knee, but you also see his ankle trapped underneath the pile. So the fact that his knee is down, this play will be overturned. It'll be Kansas City's ball. But of more concern to the Chiefs is going to be the injury to Jamal Charles.
Although, can we see exactly where that ball came out? Mike Carey is back in New York. Hello, Mike.
Hello, Greg. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. What do you think?
I think that this is down by contact. When you see the knee down, you cannot see the ball because we don't have x-ray vision. But the shot right before that, you see that the ball doesn't come loose until he gets bent over backwards. And when his knee is down, he's erect. An easy one to reverse. And that means that the offensive holding call will be put back into effect also.
I think that's a direct affront to my vision.
Well, I like this other angle that they showed, that it ends up, you can see anticipate when the knee's down that other way, and you see it secure in his right arm before, as Mike said, when the ball comes out.
All right, here's Craig Rolstadt with the decision.
The runner is down by contact. Therefore, the holding foul on number 77 will be enforced. That penalty occurred at the 34-yard line. We'll go back to the 44-yard line. It'll be first down, Kansas City.
So, as both Trent and Mike said, Mike, you called it. This one really is an easy one to call.
Well, you had to piece it together, but when you see both angles, it's clear that it was a down by contact, and then the penalty still remains.
All right, Mike, thank you much. Meanwhile, as they continue to look at Jamal Charles on the sideline, Kansas City is backed up now to the 44-yard line of Arizona. And it'll be first and very long. They need the 24-yard line. First and 20. Niall Davis is into the backfield for Kansas City. Play fake, Smith throwing. That's Sherman out of the backfield, and Sherman just inside the 40-yard line. Hey, tomorrow on CBS, the wait is over. Mike and Molly are back. Don't miss the season premiere tomorrow after Two Broke Girls here on CBS. Pick up a 5 on the play, and Alex Smith just eclipsed the 20,000-yard mark for his career. Second and 15. Smith to the near side. Davis out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. Let's check in with Evan downstairs.
Well, guys, I've been watching Jamal Charles, and Trent, you're right there, working on that left foot, testing the flexion of the ankle. No, he doesn't have his helmet right now. He's been in deep conversation with athletic trainers and doctors. No tape on that ankle yet. They're just testing out some light jogging. As soon as I get official word, I'll let you guys know.
All right, Evan, thank you. Deep conversation means to me Jamal Charles is looking for a way back into the game.
He's trying to convince him he can get back in the football game. But back to what's going on the field, this is third and long, and this is not a comfort zone for the Chiefs. They anticipate them throwing underneath and trying to allow the receiver to pick up the first down.
Smith setting up the screen, throwing outside. That is complete. And we have another flag as Niall Davis pulls in the ball.
Holding. Offense, number 73. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a fourth down.
The rookie right guard, Zach Fulton, guilty of the hold. And that'll be declined. And on comes the punting unit.
Watch 73 right here. He's going to run out, and he's the one that's going to get called on the holding. He gets out in front on the screen, and with the defensive back going low, he wraps his arm around and just peels him backwards. That's going to be called every time and force the Chiefs into a punting situation.
Dustin Colquitt kicking it to Ted Ginn Jr. And trying to plant this one inside the 10-yard line, inside the 5-yard line, and it bounces into the end zone for the touchback. 50 seconds to play here in the first quarter. It's a 7-3 Kansas City lead. Well, as you can see here in Arizona, the NFL Play 60 reminders all over this stadium. NFL Play 60 encourages kids to come out and play for 60 minutes a day. To learn how and to find great play ideas, visit nflrush.com/play60. This is what the Cardinals have done with their first two possessions. Field goal and a punt, and Stanton and company start from their own 20-yard line.
Well, they talked to us about coming out and starting fast. They want to get games started off fast, and right there, two productive drives, moving the football, picking up first down.
Stanton with time, throwing, and that is Larry Fitzgerald on the receiving end, and forward progress will be marked at about the 27-yard line. And Bruce Arians told us that we've been a second half, fourth quarter team. That's got to stop.
Well, and he was disappointed with the way the team came out last week. He thought that they had a good week of practice, and he wasn't anticipating them coming out and being as flat as they were, and really didn't have many answers. He said this is accountability on the players' part, and it's important for them to respond today, and it appears up to this point they have.
Strong words for a coach. He said he was embarrassed by their performance in Atlanta last week. And this is Stephon Taylor straight ahead, and that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Kansas City with a 7-3 lead as we get ready for the start of the second. Back to Glendale after this. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Welcome back to the University of Phoenix Stadium. Just a few moments ago, while we were away, Jamal Charles trotted off the field and headed into the locker room, and we'll try to keep tabs on what's happening with Jamal. Meanwhile, as we start the second quarter, Stanton with the give to Marion Grice, and Grice still pushing. And his forward progress will be marked at about the 38-yard line. Marion Grice, the rookie free agent out of nearby Arizona State University. Picked up 8, 2nd and 2. As you take a look at first quarter numbers, this game has felt pretty even.
It has been. It's been pretty balanced. Obviously, the Chiefs with the long touchdown run by Jamal Charles, a 63-yard touchdown run, is really what's kind of balanced out those stats. Arizona being effective running the ball on first down has helped them with their drives.
2nd and 2. Stanton throwing far side of the field and misses Fitzgerald. Covered by Chris Owens, it'll be 3rd and 2.
And no matter if Larry Fitzgerald says that he's not 100% or not, he's been very involved. He's been targeted several times already in this game. Already has 2 catches, but they've been trying to get the ball to him more. A lot of the passes to him haven't been that far up the field. A lot of them crossing routes. You can see there was an out route. He caught a curl route earlier, but definitely trying to get him involved and draw the attention of the defense.
You see what Arizona managed last week at Atlanta, and they've already eclipsed that today in rushing yardage. 3rd and 2. Stanton will throw for it, and he'll get it, and much more on the far side of the field. Rob Hausler, the tight end, for a first down.
Hausler comes from out of the backfield, and talking to Hussein Abdullah last night in the meetings, he was telling us that Hausler presents a problem from a matchup standpoint just because of the amount of speed that he has. Here he is in the backfield, and he's just going to release on a free release. You think with the protection that he's going to be involved in protection, but he wasn't even checking to see if there was a blocking that he was needed to stay in and do. He just took off right away on that free release and was able to outflank the defense because of that speed and the accurate throw by Drew Stanton.
First down Arizona now at the 42 of the Chiefs. And Stanton throwing this side and almost picked off. Number 21, Sean Smith, looking for his 2nd interception of the season. Maybe should have had it.
Yeah, Stanton got lucky on this one. It's a little bit behind him. They're going back to the out route. This is the 3rd or 4th time they've thrown the out route. Now, what that tells me is the defense is already starting to read it. Sean Smith undercuts it, has a chance to get a pick, if not a pick 6. But he does a nice job of reading that throw. But that tells me, though, is Arizona, as this game develops, could get to an out and up because the defense is now starting to sit on that.
On 2nd and 10, quick pass to this side, and that is complete. And inside the 35-yard line is Ted Ginn Jr. A look at the NFC playoff picture. New Orleans losing today and falling to 5-8. Carolina a winner. Detroit rolls on.
A lot of teams with 9 wins there. Look at the 2 wildcard teams at 9-4, and then that NFC South has got to sneak somebody in. So Atlanta has a matchup with Green Bay tomorrow night.
Not only do they sneak somebody in, they get to host a
Yes,
playoff
they do.
game. 3rd and 2. Stanton, that's complete inside the 30-yard line, and Larry Fitzgerald making his presence felt early here today.
Larry Fitzgerald is just going to sit down. Here's Larry. He's going to come up and he's going to sit down right inside. You've got clear out routes here. It's just a communication. You have 3 defenders. Kansas City has 3 defenders. It's a man, but with a zone principle. Ron Parker gets caught up in the wash, and he's not able to get through and get up on Larry Fitzgerald before he's able to make the catch, which ultimately converts to the first down.
Last 2 games, Stanton was 3 of 15 on third down. Today, 3 out of 3. Here's Kerwin Williams to about the 26. And Dontari Poe making the stop. Dontari Poe walked into our meetings last night. He's just a big guy.
A mountain of a man. And you know what? He's solid. You know, he's 340 pounds, but it's not a sloppy 340. He's just a big man. He's got quick feet. He's able to get up the field. And when you talk to the Cardinals and about their protections, we bring up Tom Bahali and Justin Houston on the outside, but they say everything starts with Dontari Poe in the middle of that line.
If it's a sloppy 346, who's going to tell him? Look at this burst inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Kerwin Williams just signed to the active roster this week with Andre Ellington out of action due to the hip pointer.
We just got through talking about Dontari Poe, but he gets double-teamed last week against Denver. He was double-teamed nearly the entire game. This time coming off the line of scrimmage, 2 defenders before they get up to that second level. But getting him out of the game, getting him from getting penetration up the field is what's going to help Arizona with their run game.
Well, you asked Poe if he could remember the last time that he wasn't double-teamed. He said no.
Yeah, he just started laughing.
Stanton pulls it down, now complete to the 11-yard line. That guy Fitzgerald once again.
It's once again the bunch formation that they're trying to attack Kansas City with. Here's the point man, Fitzgerald. He's just going to run up on a hook route. You get those bunch formations. The Chiefs try and bring pressure off the slot, but you bring those bunch formations, it forces the defense to be disciplined with their zone coverage. So even though they brought the pressure, it was a zone behind that pressure, and they have to be able to pass that off and figure out the guy that's getting into their zone.
Second and short yardage. Bryce for the first down. Now Larry Fitzgerald is one of those guys, he's not real vocal, but there's no question he's a leader out on the field.
And we talked to Drew Stan about it. We talked to Bruce Arians about it. The fact that he's out on the field, he brings that leadership, he brings that presence, and rightfully so because of the type of career he's had. But the players were all unified in saying that he just brings an energy with that leadership. He brings an energy to the huddle.
This is a Kansas City defense that's allowed just 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. That is the best mark in the NFL. Stanton rolling, looking, and going to run out of bounds with it.
Well, you mentioned, Greg, the fact they've only given up 2 rushing touchdowns. They're also the #1 defense in the National Football League in red zone touchdown percentage. And it goes back to last week. Denver was 1 of 7 in the red zone last week. Of course, they converted 5 of those into field goals, but keeping the teams out of the end zone has been a strong point for Bob Sutton and his defense.
Second and goal, the ball just outside the 5-yard line. 3 tight ends now for Arizona. Those 3 tight ends. Stanton going to throw it back here to Bryce. He eludes 1 tackler, but he's going to lose yardage on the play. Brought down at the 10-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and goal from the 10, a loss of 5.
He fakes a sweep and then throws it back. It's a run because you're going to see Stanton's going to fake the sweep and then come out this way, but watch the throw is going to come backwards. So this is ultimately a run play. You almost think they may be setting something up to make another throw, but as you see this play develop, there's nobody downfield that it could end up being a double pass. But that was clearly a throw backwards, which makes it a run.
3rd and goal. 15th play of this 7.5-minute drive. Stanton under pressure, lost the football. Loose at about the 15-yard line and covered by Arizona.
Justin Houston coming around the side, not only gets the sack, but gets the strip.
Bobby Massey, the right tackle, recovered the ball. Although, they checked the flag. Here's Craig Rolstad.
There is no foul for illegal contact as the ball had been knocked out of the quarterback's hand and the ball was on the ground. The result of the play is a fourth down.
We're going to get a look at Houston coming off the edge against Massey. He gets just underneath. He rips underneath that arm. He's able to get the strip sack. Now, Massey is smart enough to jump on the ball. You see the ball loose there. It looks like Cooper was trying to pick the ball up and run with it. They've got to understand the position and where they are on the field. They just need to recover the ball. So even though Massey made the mistake with the pass protection, he was smart enough to get on that ball.
Catanzaro from 33 yards out is good. So that Kansas City defense stands tall in the red zone once again. It's 7-6 KC. 7:43 to play in the first half. Down to Evan.
Well, Greg, we saw Jamal Charles go down with that left ankle injury with about 2:30 in the first quarter. Now his return is questionable. He went into the locker room. I have not seen him return, but the return official word from the Kansas City Chiefs, questionable.
All right, Evan, thanks much. That means the running duties fall to number 34, Niall Davis. There is DeAnthony Thomas deep for Kansas City. And we'll keep you updated if there's anything further on Jamal Charles. Davis will run, DeAnthony Thomas will run this one out of the end zone. He has running room on the near side and up the sideline and is bumped out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Good return from DeAnthony Thomas. Good field position for Kansas City when we come back. Who'd ever think you could go ice skating in Phoenix, Arizona? Cityscape in downtown Phoenix.
I'll tell you what, it's beautiful today. I wouldn't anticipate doing that. Be a whole lot warmer, though.
I never anticipate ice skating.
For a Chicago guy, that's hard to believe.
On first down, Smith with time, crossing pattern, complete. This is Albert Wilson, and Wilson with a first down.
Bruce Arians is excited with the officials here. He wants the call. They waved off the flag, and here's why. You're going to watch Josh Mauga. He's going to make collision with Larry Fitzgerald, and the call is going to come from this official on the back line. Now, what Bruce Arians is mad is that collision takes place 8 yards up the field. The flag was thrown, but the officials waved it off because of the fumble and the hit on the quarterback.
You saw Jamal Charles there on the sideline. He's back onto the sideline. Meanwhile, DeAnthony Thomas, nothing there at all, brought down by Matt Shaughnessy, who is back in action. He started the first 4 games, then went on injured reserve and just came back this week.
Yeah, injured reserve designated return. So he missed 8 ball games, and he finally got cleared and put back on the roster. The Cardinals talked about him and how effective he is against the run, and they think he's going to be a big factor when it comes to stopping the run because of his presence in the middle of the field.
2nd and 14. Alex Smith. Where have we seen that pattern before? Incomplete to Travis Kelce. You know, we were talking about this, Trent, but it's something, throwing the ball down the field is just something that the Kansas City Chiefs in this offense don't do.
They don't do a lot of it, and Alex Smith takes a lot of criticism for not pushing the ball up the field, but that's really what this offense is built on. They don't have a tremendous amount of speed on the outside, so they do a lot of crossing routes and drag routes, slant routes, curl routes, back shoulder throws, but they generally don't push the ball up the field very often.
3rd and 14. Smith faking, now brings it down, and he's going to get a first down and a lot more. 40, sliding down at the 35-yard line.
This is one of the things about a Todd Bowles defense. They bring pressure, and when you bring that much pressure and you go man-to-man on the outside, that leaves a lane in the middle of the field, and Alex Smith has the wheels to be able to pick up a long 3rd and long. Fortunately for him, he recognized that defender at the last minute coming from his left and was able to get down before the hit.
He must have been listening to us because he looked like he was looking deep. Niall Davis, right side. inside the 35 to about the 32-yard line. Tomorrow on CBS, Fast Cars, a star basketball player, military school cadets, and a serial killer have something in common. Find out what. A mysterious new episode of NCIS Los Angeles tomorrow at 10, 9 Central, only CBS. Jamal Charles back onto the field. This Arizona rush defense is a good one. They allow just over 89 yards a game. They've allowed 95 so far today. 2nd and 6. Smith going to run it again. Inside the 30 to about the 29 or 28. Patrick Peterson making the tackle.
We talked earlier about the Chiefs and their ability or lack of pushing the ball up the field. This is an outstanding graphic when you look at how many times the ball's been thrown down the field. Only 4 of 10 on 20 to 29 yards. But at this point in time of the season, only 4 attempts, the ball has gone in the air over 30 yards, which is pretty astonishing when you think about the league and how pass happy it is.
On 3rd and 3, that pass is complete to the 25-yard line. Travis Kelce making the catch, and that's good for a first down.
I know the Cardinals are going to want to have another look at this. This ball is thrown low and away, and Travis Kelce is able to scoop it, get his hands underneath, secure the catch before making contact with the ground. Good location on his throw coming from Alex Smith.
Now Kansas City from the 25. Jamal Charles in the backfield. Charles. And we have a false start.
False start. Offense. Number 87. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You know, you got the impression that Alex Smith is tired of talking about it. Andy Reid is tired of talking about it. But the fact of the matter is these Kansas City Chiefs have not completed a touchdown pass to a wide receiver this year. And Andy Reid said, hey, look, it's not like we hate him. Right. It's not like we're not trying.
He said we're trying to get it. Alex said we're trying to get him. He said he feels bad. You know, you want to get it to him. But you also got to understand with a running back like Jamal Charles, you have tight ends. Both Fasano and Kelce have 4 touchdown receptions apiece.
1st and 15. Smith. Out to the side, Sherman out of the backfield, and Sherman going to be marked down at about the 27-yard line. You see the wide receiver ranks last in receptions, last in receiving yards, no touchdowns, 15 consecutive games without a touchdown pass to a wide receiver since 1940.
That's pretty amazing, and the fact is they want the wide receivers to get in the end zone. It's not like they're looking for them, but you also have to understand Alex Smith only has 5 interceptions on the season, so he's not going to force the ball up the field unless he has to, and that's why he hits a lot of checkdowns and underneath routes.
Alex Smith 10 out of 11 throwing the ball so far today. Under pressure, and he goes down. Back at the 35-yard line. Calais Campbell and Sam Acho in on the quarterback. 2 minutes to play here in Phoenix, Arizona. 7-6 Chiefs. Last 2 games, Kansas City 3 for 23 on 3rd down. They're 2 for 3 today. What do they do here?
Well, it's 3rd and long, and right now a field goal attempt would be 53 yards, which is in Cairo Santos' range, but I anticipate them trying to get a receiver on a short route. We're trying to get the yards after catch and see if they can't pick up the first down that way.
That pass is complete. That's Dwayne Bowe, and Bowe leaping over defenders inside the 15-yard line, and that'll be good for a first down. That's a spectacular catch and run by Dwayne Bowe.
And there's just a quick slant to the outside to Dwayne Bowe. He turns up the middle of the field, and it looks like he's going to be stopped short as 2 defenders go low. That's an amazing play. Dwayne Bowe converting for the first down.
They needed 19. They got 21. First down, and Kansas City in the red zone. Movement up front.
False start. Offense. number 87. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Travis Kelce.
Well, what happens is Anthony Fasano goes in motion, and Travis Kelce, he's going to flinch as Fasano's going across in motion. And immediately the Cardinal defense is pointing out that movement.
Yeah, they don't let you get away with that stuff.
They don't. They're quick to point it out, especially when you're down here in the red zone. This makes it much more difficult getting that extra 5 yards.
Noisy building, 1st and 15. Smith throwing, Jamal Charles with the catch. 5, touchdown, Chiefs.
His ankle looked pretty good on that one, Greg.
His 2nd touchdown of the day. This one on the receiving end.
We talked about Arizona free release Hausler here. Jamal Charles is going to free release, and Alex Smith gets the ball to him quickly. He's able to cut inside and pick up a key block there right inside the 5 that gets him into the end zone.
That's a great block by Jason Avant right there.
When the Cardinals had him matched up one-on-one with Larry Foote, was trying to cover him from the linebacker position, and we talked to Jamal about matchups, and he said, I don't care who's on me, a linebacker, safety, or corner, I have to win, and he did on that play.
Cairo Santos' extra point attempt is good. Jamal Charles, 5th receiving touchdown of the season. 14-6, Kansas City. Hey, coming up, the Verizon halftime report. JB and company back in New York. They have anything to talk about today? Scores and highlights, preview of Thursday Night Football on NFL Network, all coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Jamal Charles, a touchdown run, off to the locker room with an injured ankle, back with a touchdown catch. Ted Ginn Jr. is deep, and he will return this one from about 4 yards deep in the end zone. And out of bounds just short of the 15-yard line. Number 25 has had himself a day, and we still haven't completed the first half yet.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Walmart, where you'll find unbeatable prices on this year's top gifts. And by Kelley Blue Book. Find out what you should pay for your next new car at kbb.com.
Once again, the guys in New York sitting around chomping at the bit, waiting to bring you the latest on the NFL playoff races. JB and company. Scores and highlights and a preview of Thursday Night Football on NFL Network on the Verizon halftime report. 1:07 to play in the first half. Deep drop for Stanton, throwing near sideline, has a man open, and that catch is made complete to Michael Floyd and out of bounds at about the 34-yard line.
And that's an accurate throw by Drew Stanton. Gets it over the top of the underneath defender Chris Owens, but down in front of Sean Smith, and being able to place that on the sideline as we're getting close to 1 minute here left in the half, it stops the clock.
Stanton now 9 out of 12 throwing on the day. Alex Smith 12 for 13. And here goes Stanton, sliding down at the 40-yard line. And Arizona will use a timeout here with 53 seconds to play. A reminder, you can vote now for the 2015 Pro Bowl Fantasy Football for Real. Select the best players at every position regardless of conference, either online or on your mobile device at NFL.com/Pro Bowl ballot. 2nd and 5. Stanton with time, over the middle, incomplete, overthrew his intended receiver in the middle of the field, John Brown. Let's go back to that touchdown.
Well, we used to call this smoke right bullets, where you have the inside receiver go here, you come here. If you have man-to-man, you're working this side of the field. If you have zone, you're working this side of the field. And what Alex Smith, he recognizes safety in the middle of the field. He sees man-to-man, so I'm coming to the bullet side of it. What happens is Larry Foote's in man-to-man. He bubbles over the top. Jamal Charles recognizes that. Alex Smith gets the ball on him quickly, and he's able to cut back and get in the end zone with the block from Avant.
I'm pretty sure I heard you order smoke right bullets at the barbecue place last week. 3rd and 5. Stanton, here he goes. First down, looking for the sideline and out of bounds just short of midfield. 41 seconds on the clock.
Well, that's crucial, Greg, that he's able to make it to the boundary, because instead if he slides and has to go down early, that wastes another timeout. Now they're able to conserve the 2 remaining timeouts they have, and with the ball at midfield, you can still utilize the middle of the field with the passing game.
First down, Cardinals, their own 49-yard line. They have managed just 2 field goals so far today. Stanton. Up the seam. That's complete. Inside the 30-yard line to Jerron Brown. And Arizona uses another timeout. Stop the clock with 34 seconds to play. Nice throw by Drew Stanton.
It is an accurate throw, and he's able to get up the middle of the field. What Stanton does is he recognizes the safeties are both going to go wide, and then you've got the receiver with the bender up the middle. Stanton, good recognition, seeing the safeties rotate right before the ball snap, knowing where he wants to go with the ball, knowing which receiver is his bender to attack the middle of the field when you see those safeties go wide.
You know what's really strange in this game? We have 2 teams with 2-game losing streaks. Neither one of them very proud of the way they've played the last 2 weeks and looking to prove something today.
And they're playing that way. Both teams are playing aggressively. They're pushing the ball. Both quarterbacks are being efficient, as you said a minute ago. Alex Smith 12 of 13, but Drew Stanton himself 10 of 14. And as they get down into this red zone or near the red zone, it's a matter of converting for touchdowns, which Kansas City's so good at stopping teams doing.
Arizona down to 1 timeout. Stanton with time incomplete, and we have a penalty marker in the middle of the field as there was a collision with an official. This looks like it'll be against Kansas City.
Before the pass was thrown, holding, defense number 39. It's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
That's Hussein Abdullah.
You're going to see Hussein Abdullah matched up on the tight end. He's going to be right here on your screen, and as they run up the field, that's where the holding call, because the flag comes from the official back here on the back end of the play. You see him grab and hold as it's going up the field, and you see that collision down the field.
So Arizona still with its 1 timeout remaining, 29 seconds on the clock. Now from the 24-yard line. Stanton, little pump fake, steps up, going for the end zone. It is incomplete. Intended for Jerron Brown, broken up by Philip Gaines, the rookie out of Rice.
Not a very accurately thrown ball, trying to go into double coverage up that sideline. Gaines is in good position to make the play. Stanton was under pressure and was getting hit as he threw the ball. You could see the wobble on the football as it went up the field.
2nd and 10. And this looks like it'll back Arizona up.
False start, offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty, still a 2nd down.
That's Ted Larson.
Offensive linemen always hate when they're telestrated, because that usually means it's something bad, but there's your right guard. He's going to get called for moving too quickly.
Great footwork, though.
He had good steps, good feet, but linemen always hate that when the attention is drawn to them. It's usually a holding call that you're trying to point out, or an illegal motion in that instance.
And I'm happy to say in production meetings it was you. 2nd and 15 from the 29.
That's you, right there.
Stanton with time, pulls it down, throwing sideline, incomplete. Intended for Michael Floyd, covered by Sean Smith. 3rd and 15. Now, do you look for the end zone, or are you just looking for positioning for the field goal?
Well, I think you need to get positioning for the field goal. Obviously, you want to get the conversion, and I go back to what the Chiefs did on their last possession, hitting Dwayne Bowe on the slant, and then Dwayne was able to make an amazing play, jumping over the defenders, and ultimately picked up the first down. But you want Drew Stanton to throw something short. You can keep it in the middle of the field because you do have that 1 timeout, but you don't want to risk the turnover pushing it up the field.
Stanton throwing to the sideline, and he's got his man complete inside the 20-yard line to Michael Floyd, and here comes the field goal unit. Good
decision by Arizona. You want to come away with some points here, and by getting that quick out, getting the ball out of bounds, you did still have the one timeout. So had he tried making a move to pick up the chain or pick up the sticks as far as the first down is concerned, but still giving your field goal kicker an opportunity to make a closer kick.
Catanzaro has been good from 44, from 33. This is from 37 yards out. And he missed it. Hit the upright. That's why we really don't use the word chip shot very much anymore.
You don't, and that's it's a momentum thing. We talk about finishing at the end of the half and then carrying that over to the second half and how that has an impact on momentum. And we also mentioned the fact that the Chiefs, how good they have been in red zone defense as far as keeping teams out of the end zone and forcing them into field goal attempts.
You know how Andy Reid feels going into the locker room, and Alex Smith takes a knee, and that'll take us to the end of the first half. Pretty good road trip so far for the Kansas City Chiefs. Jamal Charles running for a 63-yard touchdown, catching a touchdown pass. 14-6 Chiefs. We come to the end of the first half. We're back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. As we get set for the start of the second half here in Glendale, Arizona, the Kansas City Chiefs with a 14-6 lead on the Arizona Cardinals. Let's take a look at the Bose game changer in the first half. Jamal Charles getting a nice block up front from McGlynn and takes it 63 yards for one of his two first half touchdowns. Greg Gumbel and Trent Green, Evan Washburn back with you in the Phoenix area. The Arizona Cardinals didn't play poorly, but I'm sure they had to be considering why they settled for field goals rather than scoring touchdowns.
Well, we talked about coming into this game, Drew Stanton needed to play better, and he's done a good job in the first half. He's managed the game well. He's put them in position to score. They just haven't finished with touchdowns, as you said, Greg, settling for field goals. Instead, on the other side, with the Kansas City Chiefs, it's all been Jamal Charles through the air, catching the ball out of the backfield and getting a touchdown, and the long touchdown run to begin things off.
As we give you a look at first half stats, Trent, we heard them talking about going out and competing. How do they do that differently? Because I would think Bruce Arians liked the way they competed in the first half.
You would have to think that he was happy with that. Obviously, the missed field goal at the end of the half was disappointing as far as momentum and coming out for this second half, but he has to be happy with the way this team is coming out and fighting. They're putting a lot of effort in. They're showing emotion, and that was something that they were lacking a week ago.
Kansas City gets the football to start the second half, and Niall Davis is deep. Davis with a 99-yard kickoff return earlier this season on his way and up the middle across the 25 to about the 28-yard line. Let's check in downstairs with Evan.
Well, Greg, I was able to speak with both coaches. First with Andy Reid. He was really pleased, obviously, with the offense. Said Jamal Charles, he's a great player. He makes big plays. But he's disappointed in the 5 penalties. As for Bruce Arians, he said we have to swarm tackle Jamal Charles. And also mentioned that when they get close to the red zone, run the ball better. He thinks that's how they'll finish off drives. And he said, we've been here all season long. So we finish games.
Evan, thank you. I like that idea of swarm tackle Jamal Charles. I think that falls under the easier said than done category. This is DeAnthony Thomas running room around the right side and close to a first down. He'll be marked down, looks like about a yard short of a first down. We'll call it 2nd and 1. Tony Jefferson making the stop.
And it's always interesting to see how defenses respond when Jamal Charles motions out of the backfield. That time he motioned all the way to the outside, and the Cardinals just bounced coverage out to the outside. Sometimes they run a linebacker or a safety out there. That time they bounced Patrick Peterson out to cover him, and that opened up a lane for DeAnthony Thomas to get it up the field and get close to another first down.
2nd and 1. Charles in the backfield. Charles with the handoff and has the first down across the 40. You know, as we discussed with these Arizona Cardinals, Larry Foote says adversity hits every team except the 72 Dolphins.
He was quick to point that out. So he's on top of what's going on around the league. And You know, he mentioned today just the effort they have to have on the defensive side of the ball and wrapping up Jamal Charles. You go back to that first quarter on the long touchdown run, there was a couple of missed tackles that would have prevented Jamal Charles from taking it the distance.
On first down, Smith going to go outside and complete to Dwayne Bowe. So Alex Smith, as we mentioned earlier, is efficient when he's running this offense to perfection the way Andy Reid likes. Have you seen them deficient in any area?
You know, the thing about it that Alex brought up to us last night was the fact of playing small ball. He understands this team doesn't have a lot of home run hitters. Of course, we've seen Jamal Charles with the big touchdown run today, but playing the small ball, getting into manageable third downs, that's how this team is effective when they can run the ball and hit the short passes.
Craig Rolstad to tell us about the first penalty flag of the second half.
Timeout, Arizona. This is a first charge timeout. This is a 30-second timeout.
So we get a timeout along with a penalty flag that is yet to be explained. This is Alex Smith throwing the ball today.
We talked about him earlier in the first half, about him pushing the ball up the field and how far the ball travels when he's throwing the ball up the field. You see no attempts over 10 yards. Everything has been under 10 yards. It's that yards after catch. You see the touchdown catch by Jamal Charles. That was just a bullet route or a flare route out of the backfield by Jamal Charles. He was able to convert it for a longer touchdown. And really, that's the efficiency that Alex Smith brings. He's not going to take a lot of chances, not going to risk throwing the ball into multiple coverages up the field. He wants to be efficient with the football, and that's what he's done. Now, as this game develops and with their ability to run the football, look for them to get to a play-action pass and try and take the top end, try and get over the top, because you have to keep the defenses honest.
2nd and 3. Smith throwing, diving, incomplete. Anthony Fasano couldn't bring it in. 3rd and 3.
Well, and you could see the coverage on that. Kelvin Mentor was in coverage. The linebacker, as he's trying to undercut Fasano, knowing that that's what they like to do. They like to do a lot of shorter routes. So because of that, you have to be careful with if you're Alex Smith, because of the way defenses are sitting. That's why I said at some point in time, you've got to take a shot up the field.
On 3rd and 3, they will give it to Charles. Charles, first down yardage and then some. Brought to a stop at the Arizona 45-yard line by Calais Campbell. I was about to say, this Arizona defense has not played poorly, with the exception of a couple of breakaways by Jamal Charles.
And really, they've done a good job of managing things. Where the problem has been for the Cardinals is getting the Chiefs off the field on third down. The Chiefs are 4 of 5 on third down conversions, and a lot of that is due to the down and distance that they have on third down.
Manageable was the key word when
That's right. That's right.
Smith pulls it down, rolls, looks, going to keep it, and runs out of bounds at about the 36.5-yard line, or excuse me, the 43.5-yard line. Hey, tonight on 60 Minutes, is there a new way to treat cancer? A revolutionary doctor thinks so. Here is plans only on 60 Minutes tonight, only CBS.
And the Cardinals were ready for that play-action pass that Kansas City tried doing. Kansas City didn't push receivers up the field. They had a short route on the left side of the field and a crossing route by the tight end and out route on the outside. So everything still, once again, are shorter routes. I anticipate, as I said, at some point in time, you got to stretch the field.
Alex Smith going to go down at midfield. Frosty Rucker.
Frosty Rucker is going to be right here on the screen. He's the one that's getting upfield and is going to put the pressure on Alex Smith, ultimately end up with the sack. Right now what Kansas City is facing, we've talked about it, I've talked about it the last couple plays, is the defense is beginning to sit on the routes. So these underneath and short routes that they've been able to get to so effectively, the Cardinals are playing those short depth routes.
Alex Smith needs the 35-yard line for a first down. Over the middle. That's Kelsey. Complete, but not enough for the first down. So let's see what Andy Reid is going to do here as he looks at 4th and 4.
There was some hesitation on that side of the field because it's right in that gray area. You could be hitting a 57-yard attempt. You could punt it. You go for it. Ultimately, they're going to go for it because they think at 4th and 4 it gives them a better chance than trying to attempt a 57-yarder.
You like this call?
I do like this call. This is the part of the field that it's so gray that as an offensive player, as a quarterback, you want your coach to be aggressive and go for it.
We had a whistle and a timeout called before the snap by Arizona. And we have flags in the secondary. So it will be a timeout charged to the Arizona Cardinals.
And if you're wondering why Arizona called the timeout, they have 12 defenders on the field and they were able to get the timeout called, thus giving Kansas City more time to talk about this 4th down and what play they're going to call.
They've already used 2 of their timeouts. 1 left, 4th and 4. Alex Smith, quick pass, almost intercepted. Larry Foote stepping in front of the pass and almost picking it off. The ball will go over to Arizona on downs.
Alex Smith takes a hit.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Honda, where you can get great deals during Happy Honda Days. And by FedEx One Rate, simple flat rate shipping with the reliability of FedEx.
Can you think of a more lovely place than Scorpion Gulch? Stanton. Running out of time, now throwing and incomplete inside the 40-yard line. Larry Fitzgerald couldn't hold on. Good pressure on Stanton.
Yeah, Drew Stanton was under pressure. He did a nice job of sliding up in the pocket. Vance Walker, who was applying the heat, and so he wasn't able to make his accurate throw up the field. Larry Fitzgerald trying to stop and come back and make that catch, just wasn't able to bring it in.
2nd and 10. Keep in mind as we get later in this game, Arizona down to 1 timeout. Stanton eludes the rush, going to go deep down the sideline, has a man open, he's got it! Michael Floyd out of bounds, close to the Kansas City 15-yard line. "45-yard pickup."
Michael Floyd's on the outside. He's just running a go route. You see him position here. He's going to work up the sideline. But keep your eye on Drew Stanton and his ability to slide and move around in the pocket. He's able, with Justin Houston coming up the field, to get his feet set. That's a tough throw when you're on that side of the field, coming back and throwing a deep route up the sideline to Floyd over the top of Gaines. Good accurate throw after having to move your feet, slide around, and use that arm strength.
They get the snap off just in time. Stanton looking, throws over the middle, and that's a complete short pop to Rob Hausler, the tight end. And his forward progress will be marked at about the 16, and we have a penalty marker down on the far side of the field.
That could be lined up in the neutral zone based on where that flag was thrown.
Illegal formation, offense, not enough men on the line of scrimmage, 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
They're saying the Cardinals didn't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage with their alignment.
So it backs them up to the 21-yard line, and it's 1st and 15. almost intercepted over the middle. Josh Maga.
And I put this one on Drew Stanton. He ends up staring down. Here's Maga right here in the middle of your screen, but when Stanton comes back, it's a double slant. You've got the release of both receivers. First of all, the tight end's going clearing up the middle of the field, and you try and get Fitzgerald underneath on the drag route with Floyd doing the same slant route on the outside. So a double receiver, you have to be able to locate that middle linebacker. You can't just anticipate that the linebacker is going to run with the tight end. You have to actually visually see that and confirm it before you throw it.
Stanton to throw now on 2nd and 15, pulls it down and overthrows it. Wide open at about the 8-yard line was Darren Fells, the tight end. It'll be 3rd and 15. Looked like Stanton was all ready to run that one until he caught sight of a wide open Fells.
Well, and it was pressure, and once again, with the outside pressure forcing Stanton to come up the field, you're going to see the tight end is going to be right here in the middle of the field. But as he comes up, as Drew Stanton comes up in the pocket, he senses he's not going to have the time to set his feet. The ball just floats on him, and he takes quite a shot from Tom Ali right after he releases it.
We talked earlier about Arizona squandering opportunities and settling for field goals. This one throwing to the end zone, overthrowing Fitzgerald inside the 5-yard line. And Chris Owens covering, so that'll bring the field goal unit on again.
He's trying to get Larry Fitzgerald up the seams. He's right on the number. You have to get it high enough. You see Maga underneath on his coverage jumping, and he has to throw it high enough to get it over the top of Maga, but ultimately you got to get it low enough to where Larry Fitzgerald can get it, and as we've stated in this game, he's not 100%, so his ability to stretch the field has been hampered by that injury.
Captain Zero from 39 yards out hits his 3rd field goal of the day. 14-9 Chiefs. 9:02 to play in the 3rd quarter here in Phoenix. Kansas City with a 14-9 lead after Arizona 3rd red zone trip and coming away with 6 points. DeAnthony Thomas is deep. And Thomas 2 yards deep in the end zone. Can't get away from a would-be tackler. Brought down at about the 20-yard line, and we go down to Evan.
Well, Greg, one of the more difficult stories in recent weeks in the NFL is that of Pro Bowl safety for the Chiefs, Eric Berry, who's currently in Atlanta with a possible lymphoma because of a mass in his chest. Now, before this game, the Cardinals showed their support for Berry. In pregame warm-ups today, as many of the Arizona players wore T-shirts sold through the Chiefs website with proceeds supporting research to aid Berry and others like him. Also, the Cardinals donated $10,000 to the Eric Berry Foundation. We're all praying for him.
One of the truly good guys, and we've heard from players on both sides. We join them wishing Eric Berry the best. 1st down from the 20. Charles. And Charles can manage a yard and no more.
You can see a little bit of confusion before that ball snapped as Alex Smith was trying to get everybody into place. And here's Jamal Charles. This is the touchdown run that he had early in the game, 63 yards, breaks through a couple tackles, some good blocking at the point of attack. And then just the swing pass out of the backfield, getting Larry Foote in open space, taking a poor angle, able to cut back and pick up a big block from Avant to get him in the end zone.
We mentioned earlier Jamal Charles was telling us that they just didn't compete the last 2 games. Number 25 has come out and competed well here today. 2nd and 9. Smith rolls, throws, far side, and that is complete. And diving for the 1st down marker is Jason Avant. He is marked out of bounds, maybe about 2 yards short. No, we'll call it a yard shy.
Well, we talked to Andy Reid and Alex Smith both last night about the number of hits that Alex has taken over the last couple of weeks, just with the pressure that he's been under. And tonight, or today, they wanted to make sure they moved him around, that he wasn't just a stationary target. That last play was a bootleg, getting him to roll out right. We've seen several times today where they've done that to try and move the landmark of where the defense can tee off on him.
Alex Smith knows that the hallmark of that Arizona defense is pressure, and they want to take advantage of that. Rolling, looking, lots of time, and he's going to go deep. Caught inside the 35-yard line by Jason Avant. In terms of Kansas City's offense, that's a bomb.
Well, and it all comes down to the play breaking down. It's just going to be a fake to the left again with him rolling out to his right. He wants to hit Kelsey for the first down, but Arizona is in position to make the tackle or at least make the play and prevent them from getting the first down.
41 yards on the play, and now the quick slant bobbled and caught by Kelsey inside the 20-yard line. That will be another first down.
Well, going back to that big first down or that big third down conversion to throw up the field to Avant, it had to do with him just staying alive in the route and Kansas City getting up and snapping the ball quickly the last two snaps.
Smith looking and has to throw it away. 6:32 to play, and Smith taking another hit on the far side of the field, courtesy of Kevin Minter.
And you may wonder why Kansas City the last two snaps has gone to a hurry-up. That's another thing we talked to Alex about last night is with the Cardinals and what they like to do defensively. What Todd Bowles likes to call defensively is he likes to bring pressure. And if you snap the ball quickly, it's hard to get that communication going. It's hard for them to get those complex blitzes, complex pressures, and combination coverages when all of a sudden you're hurrying up to the ball and taking a quick snap. And that's exactly what they did after the big gain up the field to Avant, was get a quick snap and keep Cardinals on their heels.
And the Chiefs slow to regroup, take a timeout here, rather than lose 5 yards on a delay of game. Hey, Saturday, it's the only game that stands all alone, all guts, all grit, all glory, the Army-Navy game. And it all begins with college football today with special bonus coverage on CBS Sports Network at noon Eastern Time. Well, what do you think? Is it we always wonder about this. Is this the trip we see a Kansas City wide receiver pulling a touchdown pass?
You know, we brought that up to them, and they all just shake their head, you know, and they say we're trying to get him in there, and it's just a matter of getting that. You know, sometimes they said there's a few times it's been down inside the 5 where guys have just ended up short, and when you got Jamal Charles, you give it to him when you're at that point in time. So they're trying to, but you've also got some weapons in Fasano and Kelsey now. They each have 4 touchdown receptions apiece, and with Jamal Charles' touchdown reception in the first half, that now gives him 5 touchdown receptions. So.
But none for Avery.
None for the wideouts.
Dwayne Bowe.
Right.
2nd and 10. Smith on the move and slides down inside the 20-yard line. It has been a while since the last time a Kansas City wide receiver caught a touchdown pass. Last December 16th, Dwayne Bowe with a 22-yard catch from Alex Smith at Washington. The last time the Chiefs had a receiving touchdown from a wide receiver, that was week 14 of last season. On 3rd and 10. Smith pulls it down a couple of times. Looking, throwing, end zone wide open, touchdown, and we have a flag. That's Fasano on the receiving end, but let's check the penalty. And it's going to go against Kansas City.
Pass interference, offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty, replay, third down.
Might be a reason why Anthony Fasano was wide open. Well, and keep your eye on Anthony Fasano as he's coming up. He's going to sit down over the middle of the ball or over the middle of the field. When he releases, here he is right here. When he releases up the field, he wants to do a sit down in the middle of the field. He extends his left arm and knocks Larry Foote to the ground. Then as Alex Smith is scrambling, that's when he takes off the field and gets free in the end zone. But good call by the officials recognizing the push off by Fasano.
So scratch the touchdown pass, 3rd and 20, and a noisy crowd for Arizona. Smith under pressure, intercepted. Picked off by Alex Okafor.
That's due to the pressure applied by Frosty Rucker right in Alex Smith's face. He's not trying to push the ball up the field. He's just trying to hit his check down, get a couple yards, maybe get some yards after catch. Frosty Rucker, 98. You're going to see him coming from the left side of the screen. Alex Okafor just jumping up and stealing that ball out of the air.
Alex Smith threw 7 interceptions all of last season. That's his 6th this year. Arizona taking over at the Kansas City 42. Kerwin Williams zigzags his way through the line and inside the 35 to about the 33.5-yard line, brought down by Sean Smith.
That's more of a zone blocking scheme where you're trying to run the ball to the right. You see the line blocking and flushing everybody down, and good job of the cutback, getting to that next level and putting this into a short second down.
Picked up 9, 2nd and 1. Williams again has the first down and more. Out of bounds inside the 20. And Arizona into the red zone.
And Kerwin Williams getting an opportunity today because of the injury to Ellington, and he's taking full advantage of it. Couple stiff arms, couple rip throughs, able to get up that left sideline.
The line of scrimmage now the 18-yard line.
See that graphic there, 3 possessions in the red zone and only 2 field goals on those 3 possessions.
Stanton under pressure and going down. And Justin Houston, the NFL sack leader, is back at it.
Well, there was nowhere to go with this football. Good coverage down the field, and Justin Houston stayed home on the bootleg. You'll see Houston come off the edge here, and he's just going to stay. So Stanton comes out. The only thing he maybe could have done was thrown the ball away, get it out. He's looking back to his left, though, so he thinks he has some time to get rid of the ball, and Houston's just not going to allow him to have that kind of time.
See that number 29 on his T-shirt underneath for Eric Berry. 2nd and 18. Stanton with time, this time over the middle, complete inside the 15-yard line to John Brown. And he stays down.
And that ball
hit
came
hard
out
by Kirk Coleman and ruled incomplete.
Stanton squeezes that into a tight window, and Brown's just not able to hang on to it. You see it initially, but as he comes to the ground, it comes loose and makes contact.
And John Brown hit hard and shaken up on the play. So he will take a break, and so will we, with 3:32 to play in the third.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Chase Freedom. Get your cash back and activate bonus cash back today. And by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K.
3rd and 18 here, Trent. What do the Kansas City Chiefs look for?
Well, I think I think the Chiefs are going to play soft coverage and try and rally and make the tackle and force the Cardinals to throw this underneath.
Stanton lobbing it. Got his man! Touchdown! Jaron Brown with the 26-yard reception.
So much for throwing underneath, taking advantage right here against Ron Parker. Up the numbers. You go with 4 verticals. You force the defense to make some choices, and Drew Stanton is just reading those verticals. Makes an accurate throw and a great catch by Brown.
Terrific toss over the top by Drew Stanton. And they are going to go for 2 here and look for the 3-point lead. quick pass to the near side, and that is good. John Carlson laying right on the goal line. So just like that, the touchdown, the 2-point conversion. Arizona with a 3-point lead. This approved conversion is now under review. Take a look at the football.
It's in Carlson's right arm. All you have to do is break that plane. I don't believe with the location of the football, the fact it's in that right arm, that there is going to be enough to overturn this. I think that the 2-point conversion stands.
The ruling on the field stands as called. The 2-point conversion is good.
So it has been confirmed that Arizona's lead is 3. It's 17-14. Mike Carey standing by in New York. You agree with that, Mike?
Yes, I agree with that. If you watch the position of the head linesman, Mark Hittner, he has an eyeball right down the plane, and all it takes is a tip of the ball to break that plane for a score. So good call on field. I think stands is the right call.
All right, Mike, thank you much. 3:26 to play here in the third. One more look. Kind of helps when you land right on the goal line, doesn't it?
It does, and with his back to the official, it gives it's hard to overturn that because you don't have a complete view of the football.
Niall Davis will run this one out of the end zone. And gets to the 15-yard line and no more. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Well, what the Cardinals have in their design on this play is they have a comeback route here, so that draws the attention of the corner. But the Chiefs are going to drop a safety in here, so when you have a vertical here, and then your tight end comes in and he sits down over the ball, that's what draws the attention of the safety and leaves Floyd one-on-one up this hash, or I'm sorry, Brown one-on-one up the hash, and with the free release that he gets on Ron Parker, watch his stutter step, freezes him, and he's able to get up the numbers, but because the drop safety is coming down, that allows him to get free up the seam.
So now it's a 17-14 Arizona lead. Kansas City with the football, their own 15-yard line. Play fake to Charles. Pass to the near sideline, and that's incomplete. Travis Kelce, the nearest receiver. Let's check into the NFL today in New York City. James Brown, take it away.
Seattle's D gets some offensive help.
Yeah, well, Sean McCoy fumble. Watch Russell Wilson throw back here to Marshawn Lynch as the Seattle Seahawks go up 17-7. Seattle defense has held that high-powered Philadelphia offense to just 66 yards.
Back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, guys, 2nd and 10. University of Phoenix Stadium has become very loud. Charles. Maybe 3 yards on the play.
Patrick Peterson comes from the outside at his corner position, and he maintains that outside leverage, forcing Jamal Charles to cut inside. He's trying to wrap this around, similar to Jamal Charles' touchdown run in the first quarter, but Peterson was there to maintain containment. You got Kelce and Bo down here at the bottom of your screen.
Out of the backfield, Charles got his feet caught up, incomplete, and the punting unit comes on.
We're going to watch Charles. He goes on a little chip block and a release. Just thrown behind him. He's not able to get his body turned around in time. That's just a delayed release. That was a plan where they had that bunch formation. I had pointed out that bunch formation. They were going to clear it out, let Jamal act like he was going to block to fool the defense, and then do a late release. They just weren't accurate enough on the throw, and Jamal wasn't able to get his hips turned around to catch that ball and secure it.
And now Arizona with an opportunity to get some pretty good field position out of this. Ted Ginn Jr. drifting back with a chance for a return from his own 29. Giving way and getting right back to that 29-yard line. Daniel Sorensen with the special teams tackle. Week 14 continues later tonight on NBC with the Patriots and the Chargers, and tune in tomorrow for the Falcons and the Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football on ESPN. Some interesting stuff already taking place around the NFL today.
Well, I was going to say, with the games that have already taken place, the games that are currently going on, and then the two games you just mentioned, this is a heck of a weekend for football.
On first down, the give is to Williams. Williams running room left side. Looks like about 9.5, maybe a 10-yard pickup. Depends on where they spot the football. Looks like it'll be about a yard short as you look at the AFC playoff picture. Hard to pick a favorite in that wild card race right now, isn't it?
You know, and it's just, this thing is going to continue to go down to the wire because a lot of these teams that are in the wild card race, that are in the hunt for the wild card, they're going to be playing each other over the next couple weeks. So this is exactly what the league wants when they adjusted the schedule the way they did.
9-yard pickup, 2nd and 1. And we get whistles and a false start, and this will back the Cardinals up.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
Playoff picture in the NFC, not quite as fuzzy. But that NFC South sure is going to be fun down the stretch in a weird sort of way.
Yeah, and probably the fuzziest of it is that NFC South, as you said, and then of course, or I'm sorry, the NFC South, but then the NFC West with Arizona playing right now, Seattle and San Francisco both in tight games as well.
San Francisco leading Oakland by 3 in the third quarter. Kerwin-Williams, nothing doing there on the left side as he's brought down at the 35-yard line by Vance Walker. You know, we commented as we came in here, there's an awful lot of red in this stadium with the Chiefs and with the Cardinals, and a little yellow mixed in thanks to the officials.
There is a lot of red, and both teams are making some noise. You're going to see Walker here facing a double team, and he's able to split the double team and get the tackle on Williams. We talked to Larry Fitzgerald about the fact how teams travel well here because of the weather late in the season. Teams generally pack this stadium up, but Cardinals come into today undefeated at home because of this crowd.
Perfect 6-0. That pass is quick, and reaching for the first down and not getting there is John Carlson. Chris Owens with the tackle, and on 4th and 3, the punting unit will come on.
Both defenses came up with key stops there. First, Kansas City being forced to punt. And now the Kansas City defense responding to get the ball back for their offense.
DeAnthony Thomas is deep. Let's see if they get the snap off. They will not, and the time will expire here in the third quarter. 17-14 Arizona. Back after this message and a word from your local station. Along with Trent Green and Evan Washburn, our producer Bob Monsbach, and our director Suzanne Smith, and the rest of our terrific CBS Sports crew here in Glendale, Greg Gumbel. We start the fourth quarter. Butler kicking it away to DeAnthony Thomas. Could not spin out of trouble. And Arizona will start their own 16-yard line. Justin Bethel with the stop. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS features division showcases in the AFC East, Dolphins and Patriots. The Steelers will battle the Falcons. Broncos challenging the Chargers in the West. Check your local listings. It all begins with JB and the guys on the NFL today. You and I will make our way to Atlanta, Georgia for the Falcons-Steelers matchup.
Steelers came away with a big win today. And the Falcons, of course, have Green Bay tomorrow night.
Chiefs down by 3. Alex Smith pulls it down, now comes to the near side of the field. Nice throw, and completed to Albert Wilson.
They tried pushing the ball up the field. They had the hard play fake. Alex makes a good choice coming off of the deep route and getting out to Albert Wilson along the right sideline. You saw he was under pressure there with the defender diving in his face right as he's throwing that ball. Good accurate throw along the sideline to get it over the top of the underneath defender.
Another first down now at the 28-yard line. Smith Brought down. Brought down by Frosty Rucker.
Good coverage downfield. The offensive line giving him some time, but as he's stepping up in the pocket, nowhere to go with the football, and just continuing to play and making it a second long.
Third sack of the day on Alex Smith by the Cardinal defense. 2nd and 11. Smith under pressure, escapes, throwing incomplete, and we have a late flag in the secondary.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the defense. Holding, number 28. That penalty is declined. Illegal contact, defense, number 31. That penalty is accepted. 5 yards, automatic, first down.
So the penalty call against Antonio Cromartie, and that's the first time today we've called his name.
So one here and one here. This is going to be a double move up here. That's what's going to get it. And then here you're going to have a route. And ultimately it comes back outside. But that's what the two flags are on. The grab on the double move and then the collision up the field.
So it's first down for Kansas City now at their own 31-yard line. Charles looking for running room. Not much there. Boy, say this about these fans. They have been noisy from the get-go.
It's been impressive. You know, we had a chance to talk with Bruce Arians and Larry Fitzgerald and Larry Foote all about what it's been like, this home field advantage, being 6-0 at home this season, what it's meant to have these fans really jumping on the bandwagon, so to say, and you know, get the noise level going and giving them that home field advantage that they've been seeking for some time.
2nd and 8. Charles. Just across the 35, and we have a flag thrown, and all the Cardinals are saying this is going to go back against Kansas City.
Holding, offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
Donald Stevenson, the guilty party, once again. An NFL Today update from New York. JB and Coach Cowher.
Hey, Greg, Raider fans have a reason to cheer.
Oh, yeah, Derek Carr right here is going to find Marcel Reese from 9 yards out, and they take the lead over San Francisco, 17-13 in the third.
Back to Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, and Evan Washburn.
The battle for the Bay Area. I know we saw Derek Carr earlier this year. You're impressed with that young man.
Yeah, he has a bright future. He's got a good talent. He just right now doesn't have a lot of talent around him, and he's been under a lot of pressure with the protection that he's had.
2nd and 18, deep drop for Smith. And just behind his intended receiver at the 40-yard line, Albert Wilson.
Alex places this just a little bit behind Albert Wilson, and he attempts to reach back. You see him coming out of the cut, he reaches back, it hits him in the hand. That's a play he has to catch. In this situation, this part of the ball game, you have to come up with that catch. Could it have been a little bit more accurate of a throw? Yes. But when you get both hands on the football, you need to bring it in.
We heard about those third and manageable situations. This isn't one of them. Smith. This is Niall Davis. And Davis out of bounds just across the 30-yard line. Not nearly enough for a first down, and Kansas City will have to kick it away.
Well, similar to what I talked about with the Cardinals on a long third down, keeping things in front and rallying up and making the tackle, and that's exactly what Arizona did that time. They forced Alex Smith to hit the underneath and came up and were able to keep him from getting to the sticks.
This is about what we expected, isn't it? Two teams that specialize in pressure defense and are somewhat cautious on offense.
They have been. This so far the game plan's coming together. Just the big surprise for the Chiefs was obviously the interception by Alex Smith. He's done a good job of protecting the football up until this point.
Ted Ginn Jr. not going to get past the 25-yard line. Put down at the 22 by Joe Mays. 11:46 to play in the fourth. A reminder, coming up after the game, time permitting, the Subway post-game show. Join James Brown and the guys back in New York for all the latest NFL scores and highlights, all coming up on the Subway post-game show. Arizona with the ball and a 3-point lead. 11:46 to play in the fourth. First down at their own 23-yard line. This is Kerwin Williams for a couple. This game turned around, Trent, back in the third quarter, didn't it?
Well, there were several key plays when you look at Arizona. First with the interception, I talked about it was the pressure that was applied to Alex Smith, the fact that he couldn't see, and then Okafor was able to jump up and make it. And then the big run by Williams, which ultimately continues to lead this drive. And then on 3rd and 18, as the safeties come down for Kansas City, leaving the seam open, and accurate throw by Drew Stanton up the numbers for the touchdown to Brown.
And meanwhile, that pass incomplete. Intended for John Brown and knocked away by the rookie Philip Gaines, who has played well, the third-round draft pick on the corner. Last three possessions for Arizona have resulted in a field goal, a touchdown, and a punt.
Bruce Arians talked about them being a second-half team, being a fourth-quarter team, and finishing games strong. So this fits right. That stat right there just fits the mold of what he talked about last night.
Third and a tough 8 yards. Stanton looking right, throwing right. That is incomplete. Nice defensive play out there by number 21, Sean Smith, covering Michael Floyd.
Sean Smith breaks on this, and it's a good, accurate throw, low and away, but Smith is able to get his hand in there and knock it away. And Stanton is under pressure as Mauga makes the collision right after the ball is released.
DeAnthony Thomas is deep. Drew Butler's kick, Thomas, from his own 26. Bumps into his own man, can't go anywhere. And we have a penalty marker back upfield.
Holding, receiving team, number 95. That penalty occurred during the kick. That 10-yard foul will be marked from the end of the kick.
Penalty is on Josh Martin. We'll take a break with 10:47 to play in the fourth. 3-point lead for Arizona.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Amazon's new Fire HD. Powerful tablet, endless entertainment. Fruit of the Loom. Start happy this holiday. And by the Dodge Brothers. 100 years later, their spirit lives on.
Arizona fans rising up for their defense. On the slant, that's complete. Albert Wilson cutting it back. And forward progress going to be marked at about, still going, across the 35 to the 36-yard line for a first down.
You see, Albert Wilson will be coming from the left side of the screen after the play fake to Jamal Charles, which draws the linebackers up, leaving that window in the middle of the field. Alex Smith hits Wilson right in stride and is able to get big yards after the catch.
And we have Antonio Cromartie of the Arizona Cardinals down at the 30-yard line. They'll check him. We'll take a break. That is not good news for the Arizona Cardinals. Number 31, Antonio Cromartie, being taken off the field immediately. And he'll be replaced by Gerard Powers. On first down, this is Charles. Charles going nowhere. Let's go back and see what happened with Antonio Cromartie.
You really can't see anything on the replay, but Cromartie is right there at 31. He's going to be chasing the play, and he goes to make, you'll see him plant that left leg. He plants and slips, and he stays down, but you don't see anything clear as to what happened. Hopefully it's just a little roll of the ankle, but it's concerning that they put him right on the cart and took him in.
We'll keep tabs on that. Meanwhile, 2nd and 9 for Kansas City. Charles again, nowhere. Wrapped up by Tommy Kelly. Let's go down to Evan.
Well, guys, just got official word. It is that left Achilles. Now, his return is questionable. You saw him go right to the locker room. I watched him come off the field. No weight on that left foot. The official word is questionable return with an Achilles. Back to you guys.
All right, Evan, we did see him reach back behind that left ankle. 3rd and 9. There's Gerard Powers, who has replaced Cromartie on the field. Smith going down at the 25-yard line. 4th sack of the day. Alex Okafor, who has made his mark defensively here this afternoon.
The amount of pressure they're able to put on Okafor, who had the big interception earlier, he's going to be coming. He's coming all the way around. You're going to see all the linebackers coming. He comes all the way around. He's the one that's going to get the sack. I give this a coverage sack as well. There was no one open downfield. Alex Smith was trying to push the ball upfield. There was just nowhere to go with the football. By the time he could get to his check down, there was no more time.
Ted Ginn Jr., fair catch called for and made at the 27-yard line. Just under 8 minutes to play.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Macy's and by Subway Restaurants. Subway is saying thanks this season with $2 subs.
Just a reminder, time permitting, the Subway postgame show upcoming. James Brown and company, scores, highlights, playoff scenarios, all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Kerwin Williams in the backfield now as Arizona looks to take a little time off of this clock, and Williams zigzagging his way across the 30 to about the 31-yard line.
You talk about using up some clock, Greg, and that's exactly what Arizona wants to do. They obviously want to control the clock, but also keep themselves in third and short, so when they can get those conversion rates or keep that conversion rate high like they had going in the first half. The second half they haven't done as well on 3rd down, but because of the turnover in the field position they had, they were able to take the lead.
Arizona with 109 rushing yards today, better than they usually do. 2nd and 6. Stanton escaping the pressure, on the roll, throws it away. Boy, Arizona was looking at 3rd and really long.
Well, and even though that's an incompletion, that could be one of Drew Stanton's best plays of the day, considering the time that the game is in. He's going to get pressure right up the middle. Dontari Poe is the one that gets the initial pressure on him and flushes him outside the pocket. Also, Kevin Vickerson getting pressure to the outside. They both have a chance to bring him down. Stanton gets away, is able to throw the ball away right before Justin Houston is able to knock him to the ground.
Dontari Poe, wow. 6'3", 346 right over the middle. 3rd and 6. Stanton tipped in the air, incomplete. So the Kansas City defense does its job.
And after an effective job on 1st down, getting to 2 passes in the second, on 2nd and 3rd down, right here Abdullah is the one that jumps up and gets the tip. Cardinals very fortunate that this ball hits the ground. A lot of times with the ball floating in the middle of the field, that ends up being an interception. Instead, the Cardinals will punt it away on 4th down.
Anthony Thomas is deep. And another high, booming kick from Drew Butler from the 20. Turning the corner, cuts it back, wrapped up at about the 23-yard line. Well, there's Andy Reid coming back to an area that he knows pretty well back at his younger days. A attended Glendale Community College in 76 and 77, 7 miles away from this stadium. He played the offensive line. He was also the team's kicker. Can you say Luke Rosa?
The straight-on toe kicker. What I like, though, is not only is he an offensive lineman, but he had those old-school forearm pads and the hand pads and stuff on there. So,
but what did he say was the big thing about being in this area?
Oh, he was chasing his wife. He's like, that's why I know this area. This is where my wife's from, and so, of course, I know the area. I was spending all my time chasing her.
Kansas City at the 24, 6:51 to play. Smith throwing, got his man. Close to midfield, into Arizona territory is Travis Kelce. He is that reliable tight end that quarterbacks love to have.
And he's able to get to that second level. As Alex Smith flushes out of the pocket, the play fake is what draws up the linebackers and allows Kelce to get across the field. Alex Smith was accurate on his throw, and Kelce he's a playmaker. He's a guy, has the speed, has the sight. He's a matchup nightmare for defenses attempting how they're going to defend him.
Alex Smith, 257 yards throwing. That's a season high for him. Little pump fake. He's going to go deep down the sideline, and he overthrows Dwayne Bowe. While we have a moment, let's remind you, Thursday, these same Arizona Cardinals in an important matchup with the St. Louis Rams as the playoff chase heats up. Thursday Night Football, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, live on NFL Network.
They did get that one completion today, over 30 yards. That time they're just a little inaccurate. Dwayne Bowe was working up that left sideline, a little high on the throw. And now you got a 2nd and 10.
Smith in the flat to DeAnthony Thomas. And Thomas inside the 45 to about the 41-yard line.
Shaughnessy's the one slow getting up. He'd missed the last 8 games being on designated IR. His first game back.
And he's going to get a closer look.
This is 4-down territory, though. This is that gray area. If you're behind, if you're the Chiefs, you're behind by a field goal. You pick up a couple yards here. You're not necessarily, you may not get the first down, but if it's close, you have to consider going for it on 4th down.
Yeah, a couple of minutes ago, I said to you, the Chiefs maybe have 3 more drives, possessions available, and you said, maybe not.
You know, that's just such a gray area. You've got to get Arizona off the field, and Arizona's been doing a good job this second half of managing this game, managing the clock. Now, they did have the 3 and out the last time they had the football, and that was due to the defensive plays on 2nd and 3rd down. But you can't always count on that. You can't always count on it. And right now, I think with this field position, you know, you want to get the first down, but if you don't, you seriously have to consider going for it on 4th down because you don't know if he'll be back here again.
The line of scrimmage, the 41. Kansas City needs the 37 for a first down. Smith, complete. Kelce, first down and more inside the 25-yard line. He'll be marked down at the 22.
I like the play design. You have Jamal Charles coming free out of the backfield to the left, but you have Kelce sitting down at the first down. So if they do bring pressure, if the Cardinals decide to bring pressure, which is something Todd Bowles likes to do, if they do bring pressure, you've got the quick throw to Jamal out of the backfield. If they drop into zone like they ultimately ended up doing, you have the completion to Kelce sitting in the crease.
There is a ruckus being created over here on the sideline by Arizona, and a challenge flag was thrown by Bruce Arians.
Are they challenging whether it was a catch or a fumble, or here's Craig Rolstead.
Arizona is challenging the ruling on the field of a catch and down by contact.
So that is what Craig Rolstad will go under the hood to take a look on that last reception by Travis Kelce right here.
Well, I think if they're challenging if it's a catch, he caught the ball while facing back to Alex Smith and then turns upfield and runs several steps, if not many yards. So right there, it's tucked away and it's secured. He probably ran with the ball 10, 15 yards. So I'm a little confused.
Let's see if we saw the ball slip a little bit as he went down.
The ball's not moving there. Based off of what the official just said, they were looking to see if it was a catch or not. It's definitely a catch. What they ultimately could be challenging if that was a fumble. And if it was a fumble and Arizona recovers it, but that's not what the official stated.
There, that ball was moving a little bit under his arm. At least it appeared to be.
But what I'm saying is,
right.
They said they're looking at the catch. They're not looking at whether or not it was a fumble. So my understanding is when you challenge a play, you have to tell them specifically what you're looking for. And based on the explanation, I guess we'll have to bring in Mike Carey and find that out.
Mike, what do you see?
The ball looks like it might be loose a little bit. There's not enough to reverse or call it either way. But one thing to note, once a play goes under review, every reviewable aspect is going to be looked at, which includes down by contact and was there a clear recovery. So the ruling on the field was down by contact. There's not enough to reverse here.
All right, Mike, thank you. So you can challenge one thing, but if they see something else under the hood, then the call can go in the other direction on that basis. All right, Mike, thank you so much.
Well, I'm glad we have Mike here.
Oh,
clear that stuff up.
Thrilled that we have Mike there. Here comes Craig Rolstad. Coaches haven't done real good on the challenges so far.
After review, there was a fumble and a clear recovery by Arizona. Arizona will have the ball, first and 10 on the 16-yard line.
Wow.
Please reset the game clock to 5 minutes and 23 seconds. First down, Arizona.
Mike, you surprised?
Yeah, well, that's what makes football so exciting. You cannot see his hand on the ball when he comes around, so you can't tell definitively whether the ball is loose or not, but they jumped to a conclusion that I would not have.
Yeah, he does a complete rollover before the ball comes out, and I would think at least somewhere along the way you're down by contact.
Well, and I agree with Mike. You have to visually see the ball, and you're anticipating that it's maybe knocked loose, but you don't actually see it. So it's surprising that it was overturned, but for the Cardinals, this is a great opportunity for them to run some of this time off the clock and ultimately move in position to score.
Kerwin Williams with the carry, and the clock continues to move, coming up on 5 minutes to play. What a turnaround.
Well, this is if you're Bob Sutton, where you decide how risky do you want to be. Do you want to start sending linebackers? Do you want to start blitzing nickel or secondary defenders to try and put some pressure, try and get a negative play from a defensive standpoint, or do you just sit back, rally, and try and force them into a punt?
Stay on the ground with Williams, and Williams breaking free across the 30, out to about the 32, 33-yard line for a first down. Let's go back to that fumble.
Let's keep an eye on the football to when it starts to come loose. Right there, it starts to move. You see it coming loose. Now, that angle is pretty definitive that the ball's moving. That was not one we had seen before, and you can understand why the Cardinals threw that late challenge flag.
And a very clear recovery made by the Arizona Cardinals. First down, Arizona, their own 32. Williams again. Williams with a hole off left guard. As we come up on 3:45 to play, those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. Our game between the Chiefs and the Cardinals. Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Evan Washburn. 17-14, Arizona in the lead, and 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast. So there is a timeout on the field, and each team now is left with one. And it is time for the Kansas City Chiefs now to make a defensive stand if they're going to get anything done here.
Well, they're trying to preserve as much time as they can. Andy Reid was quick to the official to get this timeout. They do have the one remaining, as you said, Greg, and they also have the 2-minute warning coming up. But they do need a stop in order to preserve field position, especially with the way the Cardinals have been punting the football today.
Arizona's Matt Shaughnessy is out with a questionable return due to a shoulder injury. This is Williams again, and Williams to about the 40-yard line. A quick update from New York. Once again, JB and Coach Bill Cowher. Guys?
Oakland extending its lead.
Yeah, Derek Carr's third touchdown pass of the day. This one 5 yards to Michael Rivera, who has over 100 yards receiving, as they now go up on the San Francisco 49ers 24-13.
Greg, Trent, and Evan.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Look at the NFC West. Arizona trying to go to 10-3 and drop San Francisco 3 games off the pace.
Well, and you'd have to think with what's happening around the rest of the NFC, if San Francisco loses today, that's going to be hard pressed for them to get back into the hunt. Obviously, with 3 games to go, they can still get it done, but there's some math that comes into this, and that's going to be the fun part of these next few weeks is figuring out who's in and who's out and mathematically who's eliminated. But this is a huge third down for Arizona.
3rd and 2. And a must stop for Kansas City, you would think. Stanton throwing. Out of the backfield is Robert Hughes. First down yardage and then some. Down the sideline. Brought down at the 25-yard line.
Timely play by the Cardinals coming out of the backfield here. You get Houston up the field. Stanton just dropping it over the outstretched arms of Justin Houston and getting it into the hands of Robert Hughes.
Josh Maga saving the touchdown at the 25-yard line. Kansas City now out of timeouts. This is Williams. And he is brought to a stop at the 21-yard line. Clock continues to move. 2:45 to play in regulation.
Well, the important thing, or one of the most important things of that last play, not only picking up the first down, but the yardage that was gained is now the Cardinals are in field goal range. So they're going to have to run one more play before they get to the 2-minute warning. Then they have an ultimately try and convert on 3rd down. If they get that, they can take a knee and the game's over. If not, they're forced to a field goal, which all of a sudden with that 6-point lead still gives Kansas City a chance.
2nd and 7, and this is Williams, and Williams not going to get there. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here in Phoenix. Cardinals clinging to a 3-point lead. Mind you, tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and a Revolutionary Cancer Doctor, followed by the I Love Lucy Christmas special, The Mentalist, and CSI, only CBS. 2 minutes to play here in Phoenix. 3rd and 7. And a critical 3rd down for Kansas City. Williams sneaking through and brought down at the 17-yard line. That is short of a first down. Ron Parker making the tackle.
And that's important that he stayed in bounds just to keep the clock running. From an Arizona standpoint, they do have 1 timeout left, so if they want to take it all the way down, call the timeout before they do the field goal attempt.
Meanwhile, the field goal unit casually strolling onto the field.
That's why I'm thinking they're going to call the timeout, but there's not a whole lot of urgency to get up here and get the thing marked.
Bruce Arians getting set to use his final timeout, and now both teams have used all of their timeouts. 1:14 to play here in the 4th quarter. Remind you once again, 60 Minutes coming up. Except those of you on the West Coast, you'll be seeing it at its regularly scheduled time. Kelvin Williams, 100 yards rushing today. Meanwhile, Chandler Catanzaro, 3 out of 4. Missed only from 36. This will be a 34-yarder for a 6-point lead. Off the upright and not good.
It goes without saying that's a huge miss, just because now a field goal, much different decisions that you make if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, getting in field goal range as opposed to having to score a touchdown.
How many twists and turns and what ifs has this game had?
That's 2 misses now, both of them hitting the upright, one from 34 and one from 36 right before the half.
And he's hit each upright.
Well, the thing is that's fractions of an inch. If that hits that upright just a little differently, it'll ricochet and bounce in. Instead now, the Chiefs, out of timeouts, have plenty of time to get down the field and get themselves in field goal range.
1:09 to play. Smith looking to the sideline, throws complete to Charles, out of bounds.
You know what was interesting about that play, Greg, is you think a lot of defenses in this situation, they're going to drop coverage, drop their linebackers, rally up, make the tackle in bounds. The Cardinals with Todd Bowles, they're bringing pressure. They're blitzing linebackers. They're blitzing guys off the slot. They're going to continue to put the heat on Alex Smith.
It is not an offense known for throwing the ball down the field. 2nd and 7. Going the other way, and that is complete and brought down to the 30-yard line, and they'll wind the clock. Jason Avant couldn't reach the sideline.
Well, it's interesting to see. Alex Smith, that's a 3-step throw. It's a quick out route, and Lorenzo Alexander was all over Alex Smith, taking him to the ground right after that throw. The pressure is continuing on Alex Smith.
Smith, quick slant, that is complete for the first down across the 35 to Avant. 35 seconds to play.
You would think they're going to have to spike it. They're just continuing to use up clock here. They're moving receivers from one side to the other, wasting a lot of time.
Threw it away, which could have been done.
Could have spiked it.
Seconds ago, sure. So 19 seconds remaining. Cairo Santos, his long field goal of the year, 53 yards.
Now you need to either get out of bounds or get a big chunk up the middle of the field and run everybody up to spike it, but you can't afford a short underneath throw in the middle of the field.
They need to reach right around the 35-yard line of Arizona to give him a shot. Let's see what the flag is. It's going to be a false start against Kansas City.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty.
That's Eric Fisher, the left tackle.
See if they get Fisher with a quick flinch here. Definitely got him rocking back on his heels. The Cardinals have matched Patrick Peterson up on Dwayne Bowe on every snap in this situation. They've moved him around multiple times. But right down here at the bottom of your screen, you're going to have to take a shot, especially if the Cardinals bring pressure. Take up the shot up the field and try and get either a big completion or a pass interference.
Quick pass to the far side and through the hands of Albert Wilson. This was the huge play not so long ago. Had the Kansas City Chiefs on the move, the pass to Travis Kelce, Trent.
And Deone Buchanan comes up and knocks the ball loose. The Chiefs would have had the football down by 3 at the 22-yard line. Instead, Arizona was able to get it, use up valuable time, make the Chiefs use their timeouts. Now the Chiefs are in dire straits with 3rd and 15 and only 16 seconds to go.
Smith. Deep sideline, pattern incomplete. Intended again for Wilson. It'll be 4th down and 11 seconds on the clock.
Not a whole lot of other choices here. You need to throw the ball up, attempt to get a pass interference call down the sideline, or come up with a big catch to where you can get your feet out of bounds. Anything in the middle of the field, there's not enough time to run up and spike it.
On the blitz. Incomplete over the middle. And that'll do it.
And Todd Bowles brings pressure one more time. There was no way he was going to let Alex Smith sit back there and throw the ball up the field. He continues bringing pressure right up to the very end. Watch the bodies that come in. You're going to see at least 6 defenders come in here, not allowing Alex Smith any time to push the ball up the field. 6 guys rushing. He's trying to dump it to a crossing route with 11 seconds left. The clock's going to run out either way. That's what pressure does, and they weren't able to pick it up.
We started this day by saying of these two teams, Kansas City was the team that could least afford a loss, yet that's what happens here. Kansas City Chiefs with a loss.
And with the AFC shaping up the way it is from a wild card standpoint, but here we look at the NFC and Arizona now going to 10-3.
Arizona snaps its 2-game losing streak. 17-14, Drew Stanton and the Cardinals come up winners over the Kansas City Chiefs. Once again, our final score, Arizona 17, Kansas City 14. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes, followed by the I Love Lucy Christmas special, The Mentalist and CSI. For Trent Green, for Evan Washburn, for all of us here in Glendale, Greg Gumbel saying so long from Arizona. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.